The room fell silent as Mark stood up, his voice cutting through the cheerful baby shower chatter like a blade. Before we celebrate, everyone needs to know the truth. This child isn't mine. I felt the champagne glass slip from my trembling fingers, shattering against the hardwood floor. 30 pairs of eyes turned to stare at me, my 8 months pregnant belly suddenly feeling like a spotlight. My mother gasped. My sister's mouth hung open in shock. "Mark, what are you saying?" I whispered, but he was already pulling out his phone. "I have proof," he announced, waving the device like a weapon. "DNA test results. Sarah's been lying to all of us." The guests began murmuring, their excited whispers turning into confused speculation. My best friend Emma stepped closer, her face pale. "This has to be a mistake." Mark's mother, Linda, rose from her chair with a satisfied smirk. Finally, someone with a backbone to expose the truth. "I always knew she was trouble." "The baby is yours," I screamed, my voice cracking. "I've never been with anyone else." But Mark shook his head coldly. "The test doesn't lie, Sarah. 99.9% excluded as the father. You made a fool of me for 8 months." Linda clapped her hands together. "Thank God my son found out before it was too late. Imagine if he'd signed that birth certificate." The humiliation burned through my chest like acid. Friends I'd known for years were backing away, their faces filled with judgment and disgust. The beautiful pink and blue decorations suddenly felt like mockery. "Get out." Mark pointed toward the door. "All of you can witness this. I'm done with her lies." That's when the front door burst open. My father stepped inside, his face thunderous, a manila envelope clutched in his fist. Behind him stood my Uncle David, a retired police detective, and our family lawyer, Mr. Rodriguez. The room went dead silent. Mark's confident expression flickered. "Don't you dare take another step, you pathetic excuse for a man," my father's voice boomed across the room. His eyes locked onto Mark with deadly intensity. Mark straightened up, trying to maintain his authority. "Mr. Patterson, I know this is hard, but your daughter—" "Shut your mouth." My father's words hit like a physical blow. "Before you humiliate my daughter any further, let me share some interesting information I discovered yesterday." He opened the envelope and pulled out official-looking documents. Linda's face went pale. "This is a real DNA test," my father announced, holding up the papers. "The one I had done secretly 3 weeks ago, when Linda started spreading rumors about Sarah's faithfulness." Mark's eyes widened. "What are you talking about?" "Your mother has been planning this for months," my father continued, his voice getting louder. "She paid someone to fake those test results because she never wanted Sarah in your family." Uncle David stepped forward, his detective training evident in his calm authority. "We have the receipts, Mark. Your mother paid $500 to a guy who prints fake documents. We traced the whole thing." Linda jumped up, her face flushed red. "That's ridiculous. Those are real results." "Are they?" Mr. Rodriguez opened his briefcase and pulled out more papers. "Because the lab you claim to use has no record of any test for Mark Patterson. They've never heard of you." The room erupted in shocked gasps. Mark turned to stare at his mother, confusion and horror dawning on his face. "Mom, what is he talking about?" Linda's confident demeanor cracked. I was protecting you. She trapped you with this pregnancy." "The real DNA test," my father announced, "shows a 99.99% probability that Mark is the father. But more importantly, it shows what kind of family we're dealing with." He handed the papers to Mark, whose hands shook as he read them. The color drained from his face completely. "You believed fake papers over your wife," Uncle David said quietly. "You humiliated her publicly based on your mother's lies." Mark looked up at me, his eyes filled with dawning horror. "Sarah, I thought—" "You thought what?" I stood up slowly, my hand protective over my belly. "That I would cheat on you? That I would lie about our child?" The guests were backing toward the exits, sensing the family explosion about to detonate. But I wasn't done. "You stood there and called me a liar in front of everyone we know," I continued, my voice growing stronger. "You threw me out of my own baby shower." Linda tried one last desperate move. "She's manipulating all of you." "I know what I saw." What you saw, Mr. Rodriguez interrupted, was an innocent woman being faithful to her husband while you sabotaged their marriage. Mark dropped the papers and reached for me. Sarah, please, I can explain. Choose, my father said simply. Right now. Your lying, manipulative mother, or your pregnant wife and child. The room held its breath. Mark looked between his mother and me, the weight of his decision visible on his face. Linda sensed her losing ground. Mark, honey, she's turning your family against me. No, Mark said finally, his voice barely a whisper. You did this. You made me believe my wife was unfaithful. You tried to destroy my marriage. He turned to face his mother fully. Get out of my house. Get out of our lives. Linda's face contorted with rage. You'll regret this. She'll leave you anyway. The only thing I regret, Mark said, his voice growing steadier, is listening to you instead of trusting my wife. Uncle David escorted a screaming Linda to the door while the remaining guests quickly gathered their things and left, mumbling apologies. When the house finally emptied, Mark fell to his knees in front of me, tears streaming down his face. I'm so sorry, Sarah. I'm so sorry. I looked down at my husband, then at my father, who had saved my marriage and my dignity. The real DNA papers lay scattered on the floor. Proof of truth, proof of love, proof that some people will fight for what's right. Trust isn't just about love, Mark, I said quietly. It's about knowing who deserves your loyalty. My father smiled and squeezed my shoulder. And now you both know. Sometimes the people who claim to protect you are the ones you need protection from. But real family, they show up with the truth when it matters most.